This is Secret Stories, and my name is Mary Kachapalya. Many people cannot be on camera because their employer, their family, their friends, or their church synagogue would roll their eyes, ridicule, misunderstand them, and even fire them. Secret Stories allow you to tell your story with anonymity. Here, I read experiencers' accounts emailed to us at Breaking the Silence. This time, I read Valentine's account as she shares her story. Here's a night that happened pretty shortly after my family moved to Texas. My folks and their respective families were from there, and despite my best attempts at not moving there, previously hot as hell visits weren't my thing, plop, there we were. I was about 5 years old and sleeping in my new bedroom. It was still relatively early, about 10 p.m., and suddenly I am completely awake and alert. I'm sitting up looking at the wall by the north window where I see the tail end of some sort of swirling thing, and two tiny beings emerge from it, standing in front of what was the swirling thing. Now, I will try to describe how I interacted with them in this situation the best that I can. It's like my conscious reality brain was not aware of this part of my life. However, it was so commonplace at this point in my development that it was a non-issue. Like when you run into warm acquaintances at the market or family you don't see so super often. I was completely comfortable with the goings-on. I feel excited to see them. I jump off the bed and go over to them. "Hey, how'd you find me?" I say to them in my mind. I knew we had traveled south after a few days when we moved from Connecticut to Texas, so it was pretty far in my estimation, being only 5 years old. My friends are tickled by my question, a hint of a smile between them, and they glance at each other with a "we really like this one" look. I'm so happy to see them, familiar faces in a strange land. I've got lots of questions, like, where have you been? What have you been up to? Because they hadn't come by recently. Did they have a hard time finding me? Is that why the lengthy absence of visits with them? And right when I start to begin yammering at them, the dark sort of steel gray blue, his colleague next to him was sort of a dull brick red, slightly shorter than his friend, and both of them were not a whole lot taller than me. They reach for my right arm, and he's got the silver cigar, and I immediately protest, "No, no, let me." And that was that. I guess the closest way to describe the sensation was that it was a split-second electrical tickle, and then I am unconscious. It doesn't hurt, and there's no side effects. Years later, I would think about this gadget back when tasers were released. Again, I was comfortable with these others. They're like uncles to me, but I knew that the silver cigar that had a glowing, not hot though, orange-red, and meant once it touched me, I was out. Not going to get to remember anything, and I wanted to catch up and see what's new with my colleagues, friends, relatives. Hard to describe. Hard to describe my feelings toward them. The next thing that I remember, I'm back in my bed and suddenly fully alert and awake, but kind of jet laggy, tired, and I feel like I've been on a long, long plane ride. Again, I was very familiar with all of this and didn't stop to question it. Not only is it morning somehow, and I'm kind of like, well, another dream, not dream. That is real. It happened last night. I am positioned in the bed, sitting up, my back against the headboard, and I can feel that my nightgown is pulled nicely down, straightened out, neatly around my body under the covers, which never happens because I'm an active toss-and-turn sleeper. I'm still mulling around the real dream or not in my mind, and then I realize, hey, wait a second. Not only am I propped up in my bed like a doll, but both hands are laying next to my body securely and comfortably tucked in against me, so I couldn't have done this myself. Someone placed me in my bed. I thought to myself, "Ah, that was so sweet and cute of them to get me all tucked in and safe." It seemed that they wanted to make me feel respected and comfortable to the best of their ability, but unable to finesse the mundane human element of the action. I was touched, and then the business of the new day began. But you know what's funny, though? I was still sitting up, both hands next to me with a snugly made bed all around, and my mother didn't even notice that someone, not me, had placed me into bed like that. She didn't even think, who stuck my kid all weird into their bed? Joining this group has organically been unlocking so many more things I've never considered. Like, I go off campus with different types of beings via different paths and systems to do different types of activities. What a long, strange trip it has been, indeed. I didn't think that I would have such a hard time writing this, but it's like the auto-breaking mechanism keeps engaging, from typos, spacing errors, on and on. Maybe it's just me. But I'm not one for being self-congratulatory. I am proud and pleased for all of us to be here doing this together right now, and my eternal gratitude for Steve and Mary for creating this unique bouncy castle just for us. Individually, we're awesome. Together, we're unstoppable. All my love and support to all y'all. Valentine. Thank you, Valentine. We're happy to have you in this community. Secret stories or your accounts, thank you for sharing them with us. It takes guts to share your account, and when you feel ready, I will share your story for you. This is Mary Cachapalia. May love and light be with you.